What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to vinyl wrap a rear quarter panel using TeckWrap Satin Metallic Burnt Maroon. Color astounding. Already said this many times. This is the quarter panel piece right here. Some tricky parts to it. I'm going to show you some easy things that you can do versus doing it some other ways, which can be more difficult. You can see that I have a lot of masking tape set up, so that's one thing. We're masking off these areas to protect them. Also helps the film slide off of those areas. Rear bumper door here, I'll explain this one in a moment. Rear quarter window, and I've masked off all of this. Nothing else on the top. I don't need to mask anything on the top, that's fine. And even just the part of the fender right here so we can tuck down and behind really nicely. That's pretty much it. I've wiped the panel down with 70% isopropyl alcohol. I have my piece cut, it's already over there. I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna put it on top of the quarter panel, and we're gonna do this. So one thing is, with this, is that I can't use magnets. The quarter panel is not steel, it's not made out of steel. So my magnets don't work. Doors, on the other hand, were magnetic. Weird, right? Anyways, let's grab the piece and bring it over. I have it right here and show you how to do this. So the tricky part is getting this into position with the film wanting to move all over the place. So I'm gonna come just past the end here. I'm even trying to figure it out. I like to have the trunk open when I do this, or the hatch or trunk. One of the two, doesn't matter. So I'm just trying to figure this out. And what I'll do is I'll just peel off a corner and see if I can stick it to something on the inside. Just to hold it there. Will it hold? Nope, it's just textured plastic. See what else we can do. Yeah, maybe I'll just bring this down a bit. And if it stays right about there, that could work. All right, that works for me. So you gotta improvise sometimes. Make sure I've got enough on the back. We look good. Push that corner down. So all I do is peel back a corner right over here. And get this going across. Now you can see I already have my piece pre-cut, right? Top's gonna be a little tricky here. Trying to figure out what I can do with that. Okay, we're just gonna take this and roll it right across the front. And I'm gonna try to keep this somewhat tight. And I'm gonna anchor this corner right here. I'm gonna peel it back. I'm gonna anchor that to the window. It's gonna get cut off anyways. This piece is longer than I need it to be. Okay, so this isn't bad. I can work with this. Has to go higher because again, we're showing white right here. I'm not overly concerned about that. Let's go a little higher. Let's see how much room we have here. You can see we have plenty. That's the door right there. That's where it meets the quarter panel. We have plenty on the bottom, so we can, in fact, go higher. So let's go higher. I should have cut it like that. You want to make sure that you're always giving yourself enough. And then something like that would probably be ideal. Right about there. Let's check this out. Still got coverage. Okay, we're good. I'm going to use my fancy cutting tool to cut away a small section of the release liner on the top here. And this cutting tool is unique because you can actually just cut the paper and not the film. And that'll just give me, I just cut a little notch out and that can stick that down on the top there. It shouldn't move. Shouldn't. It should be okay. Just make sure that's down really good. All right, we're good to go. Now, this is a high tack film. Again, I've said it before. This, if you find it's overly sticky, use some baby shampoo and water and apply that to the surface. Very little bit of baby shampoo and water to the surface, let it dry, and that will lower the tack. Now, as I do this, watch what I do. I'm gonna take a nice spot right around here. It's gonna touch. Okay, we're gonna anchor that. It's just gonna give us a bit of a better hold there. We're also only going to do a portion at a time. All right, so this area here is funny because it's sticking out and touching the hatch. So I haven't removed all the release liner yet. You see that, right? Good reason for that. Because now we can actually move the film around a little bit more freely or easily with the release liner still on it. So again, we're just trying to work it through here. I'm going to show you what we're going to do next is we're going to lay in to the recess under that quarter window. So I'll lift that up here. Okay. I'm going to come in right through here. I'm going to try to create a nice smooth line, sort of like this. Watch. See what I'm doing? Okay, come in right here. And just pop that up. Popping the film up is so much easier than pulling it forever and trying to lift it. So you pop the film up, it makes it a lot easier, guys. All right, I probably don't need the trunk, the hatch here anymore. So let's just put it all the way up. It's gonna be easier. It's gonna get right out of my way. Amazing. Now I can see better what's happening here. We have tons of extra vinyl right in here. So I'm gonna trim a bunch of this away. Like that. Come in under here. Now you see why I have the masking tape on the spoiler, right? Just in case. It's always a just in case. Well, that helps reduce the size of that area. We need to pull this a little bit tight towards me. Just like this, watch. Okay, snug. Okay, I'm gonna, again, anchor to a nice, smooth area. Make sure that's just super smooth like that. And we're good to go, almost. 1 second. Show you what we're gonna do next. This is the fun part. If you have an extra set of hands, great. You know, it's nice to have a little extra help. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pull this off this way. All right, get all that off. And then we're gonna leave the release liner on this side. So I'm gonna cut it. Let's get rid of that. Make sure that's far enough away that it doesn't step on it. It's very slippery. Now what I'm gonna do here is lay the film into this recess by holding the film up. You could leave some of the release liner on the bottom for this. I just like to get rid of all of it. I find that, you know, it's unnecessary to leave all of that on there, but you know, this depends on how you feel about it. And again, we're gonna take this and just sort of pull it tightly through. See where my thumb is? It's all about where my thumb is going right now. Oops, didn't mean to do that. All about where my thumb is pulling, and I can make a nice smooth line right underneath that window, and there's no tension at all near that window. What we got to do now is we need to take this line right here, and we need to roll it around the fender. You're going to see what's going to happen here around the quarter panel. It's going to roll itself right around that body line. Beautiful. Over here, same thing. Let's keep going. Keep adding pressure to that tension line. And right here. Now I'm pulling with my left hand. You're gonna see how well this goes down, how nicely it goes down. All right, let's keep going here. That's why you want everything to be super clean. You can see that I'm handling the film very aggressively, right? There's going to be the tail light area section coming up right about there. That's where that ends. This is my tension line right here that I'm rolling. I'm basically flipping the film around. So right now it's kind of rolling up. As I put pressure here, it's rolling itself down and around the panel. It's physics. And then now as I come out here, it's going to get easy. And we might start getting a bit of bunching right around here. See? It's okay. We're good. So I'll show you what to do. Right around there, okay? This is a very common area at the wheel well to get bunching, whether you do it my way or not. If you stretch that into there, it's still very common to get bunching right here. So all we're gonna do is lift this up, and I'm gonna pull the film tightly. I don't even need any heat, just tightly across, like that. Okay, so what does that do? That creates the wrinkles running across the body line or the edge of the fender. Now I can take these wrinkles and pull them out this way. I actually created wrinkles to make my life easier, right? That's a weird concept. And I'm always lifting off of the opposing edge when I'm squeegeeing, because this helps the wrinkles come out or helps the extra material come out. Okay, that's all done there. Easy, right? Let's come around here. I'm going to cut off a bunch of this. I don't need all this. This is where the tail light goes. I have just way too much vinyl. Just do that. And then we're going to take this now and we're going to stretch it. Do I need some heat? I don't know yet. We're going to go back a bit. And then we're going to take it and we're going to stretch it this way and keep the film expanded outwards. And I don't think I even needed a heat gun yet. Cool, right? Wrapping the quarter panel without a heat gun. Using TeckWrap. It's all technique. So here, let's, might as well finish this cut off. I have tape on my bumper. I only have one piece. So if you're doing this, you may want to have 2 pieces or 3 or 4. It really just depends on how comfortable you are with one piece. So there we go. Let's remove that. We don't have to do the door area yet. Let's start doing the rest over here. So let's push this up and under the trunk or the hatch. Cool. Let's take this, and this is going to have to come this way. So all I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to separate the top and the bottom area. Now, I didn't mask off the window, so be careful with your knife. If it's sharp enough, it can scratch the glass or any black plastic trims and so on. So we're going to do this. We're just going to separate these areas. Why am I doing this? Because I'm going to lift the top right here to about here, and I don't want it connected to here because it might lift that back as well. So we separated it. All right. See exactly what I mean right now. I have to unstick the top. There we go. And also unstick the front. Now it's going to get a little weird with this really long piece here. It's okay. You will be okay. It's going to get weird because it's really long. Okay? And then we're going to take it back, and we're just going to pull this vinyl tight across like this. We're going to find a nice flat spot. See how flat that is? Good. I'm going to stick that there just for a second. I want to take care of this big wrinkle. This big wrinkle, pop it, pull it down. Or could have probably went up to. It was sort of in the middle, so I just made a choice, either top or bottom. Let's start squeegeeing some of this out. Again, I'm usually lifting the film up to allow air out a lot faster, and also to prevent any wrinkles. I might need a heat gun right around here. I'm probably, maybe not, we'll see. Most likely going to, but it's not always the case. So we're going to take this and now stretch it and conform it across. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Pull it a little bit tighter. And as long as I have enough to overlap into the door area, we're good. All right, that looks fine. I think we're okay with this. So I'm going to find a flat spot here in the middle. Divide the areas, okay? This big wrinkle right here where I just put my hand through in that flat spot, it's going to go down. Now we have a little bit of slack right here. I'm going to show you what to do with that. Right here, I'm going to go under here, and we're going to finish that off also. And this big wrinkle at the very top is going to go up. And the film is actually super nice right now. It's like it's pulling itself along or around that top edge. Super beneficial. So keep going through here. Again, lifting the film, squeezing it really nicely and really firmly. And this wrinkle right here. All right. So this quarter panel is basically wrapped. Now it's time for a heat gun. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this spot right here where there's a little bit of extra slack. We're just going to pre-shrink it. Polymeric vinyl, right? So watch. That's it. Done. Nice and smooth. Didn't even stretch it. Push it through. All right. What's next, guys? We can start wherever we want, really. Panel's wrapped. So here, what I like to do is I'm going to cut off a whole lot of this on the inside. There's a trim piece that goes right here. Same thing with the roof. So I'm not worried about wrapping around very far, or wrap around about a 1/4 inch. I'm not going to put my knife on the paint. So we're going to cut in the air channel in the hole. It's also going to alleviate a lot of tension right now when I separate. And I do this cut all the way down to the bottom right now. All right, now it's going to come out like that. Great, so let's make sure the top is squeegeed around that top edge just slightly. And then we can cut off basically everything on the top, again, leaving myself only about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm keeping tension with my left hand right now, and I'm cutting in the air channel. This just keeps a straighter cut. Again, nobody's gonna see it. But it does keep your cut a lot more straight. It's just nice to practice and do these things regardless. Let's go under here. There we go. All right. That can all go. Still going to heat that area on the top. Now you can see the car's coming to life, right? It's awesome. What's next? I'll just do here. So now I'm going to cut on this tape. That's kind of what I was getting at already. Cut on this tape. I'm lifting it anyways. I'm not cutting on the tape, but the tape's there just in case. I've got a couple of wrinkles here. So I want to pull this area right here tight. We all on camera there? I want to make sure. Yep, so I'm going to pull that area tight. Bring you in a little bit closer so you can see a bit better. Which means I want to lift it sort of here a little bit and then just pull it like down to this corner right there. I'm going to anchor that in, and then same thing here. I'm going to lift it and pull it like across and to this corner over here, and keeping the film spread out at the same time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit. Now I'm going to cut on the tape. I'm going to cut right here. Now if I miss this area, what I'll do is I'll put an overlay piece in there afterwards because I don't want the white to show. Anyways, I can't tuck this in just yet until I do this cut. Okay, so there's a seal here somewhere. You need to find it. It's not a bad idea to now cut on your tape, and this will help you expose where the window trim is a little bit better. Don't make a mistake with your cut. Take your time. You don't have to go as fast as I am. It's not about the speed right now. It's about doing a nice job. It's never about the speed. It's all about doing a nice job. The tape, I'm just trying to find the tape, guys, so give me a second here. I don't want to make a mistake. And I don't want to cut the gloss black trim. That would be bad. I'm sure it's very unforgiving. It's not like it's paint, you probably can't polish it. Could, maybe, I don't know. I don't know enough about polishing cars, so. All right. And then also here, we're going to trim on the tape. Just stick that there for a second. Let's go a little bit more this way. Now, I don't have to wrap very far into this door jamb because it has like a black trim in the inside, and it just is what it is. So the black trim comes basically right up to the edge, very close. I'm just making sure I'm giving myself a little extra here. So this is, I like to put the tape here because it's a little bit easier to do than wrapping with the doors open. If we wrap with the doors open, then we're gonna put knifeless tape all in everything, and it's just more work. All right, things are coming along. Let's pass by this entire edge right up here with heat and just see what happens. And I'm just gonna double check everything here, make sure this is all good before I do that. Cool. So let's pass by all of this with some heat, and let's just see what's happening at the edges. So everything's should go nice and smooth, okay? Or should stay smooth, one of the two. See that? It's going smooth. It's going smooth. It's going smooth. Everywhere, it's all going smooth. It's ideal. It's the right way. Go all the way along here. And I'm not going to hit up the very bottom just yet. Let's get the top done, might as well, since I have the heat gun out. Cool. I don't want to heat this yet either. I have the tape there so I can open the door. Now what we want to do is we want to find the trim, okay? So I'm going to use the hard edge of my squeegee to kind of come down from the top here and find where that rubber trim is. This is very important because it shows us the absolute minimum amount of vinyl that we need to leave, basically, to tuck into the door. That is like cutting, if I were to cut it off right where my squeegee meets the rubber seal, then I'm basically cutting it off right at the edge. And that's, that's not great. You don't want to cut it right off at the edge. So now we're going to cut on this side, and there's a little gap. I mean, there's a big gap between right here where the actual top edge is and the rubber seal meets from the door, and then down here where the window trim is. Okay, so there's a big gap there. Let's start down here, not all the way at the bottom, because I haven't done the very bottom area yet. Now I'm not cutting on the trim. There's just a small space where I can actually run my knife, and that makes it possible to cut without cutting on any trim. It's basically an air bubble in here for me to do this, okay? And then between the doors, obviously it's gonna get a little choppy, so we take our time. Make sure you kind of follow the groove, follow the vibe, because there's a space there, so just take your time there. Let's keep going. We can go right into the rear quarter window, but I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go in a little bit. And then from here, I'm just gonna take this up, because I haven't done the rear quarter window yet. We always separate our areas. Somehow I didn't cut here, so it wasn't pushing hard enough. Interesting. So the nice part about running your knife along that edge is it keeps your cut straight too. So when you push it into the door area, I'm just gonna go over this one more time. When you push it into the door area, it's straight. Watch the front door. Okay, so there's no tape on the rubber seal. It's gonna stick a little bit. You're gonna see it, but it won't stick that much. Not enough to not be able to open the door. Wow, check that out, okay? So now we have full access to this area. You can heat, push it in. We won't do that just yet. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do this area right here. So I'm gonna lift the vinyl off of the tape and try to not lift it off of the fender, okay? You don't want that to happen, but if it happens, it happens. This is the hard part right here where the corner is. So I'm gonna lift that back a little bit more, and then I should be able to open the door. Let's flip that back. Top one too. Okay, there we go. Nice. Now, if I did happen to pull that back a bit, it'll just flip back around. Let's do, we're not gonna do all that yet actually, because I have to do the rear quarter window. So let's do right here. Let's bring that camera over slightly and show you what's gonna happen right here. Now, I wanna find this trim area also. So I'm gonna do this rear quarter window and all this all at once, probably here and here. Get all this done. Slip that up. And I need to find the edge still. If I don't know where that edge is, I'm not cutting. Okay, so now I can see it a lot better. That's only with the buffer side of my squeegee. Keep that in mind, right? So that's not the most precise or accurate edge to be viewing right now. Well, don't worry, we're gonna go over with a harder edge squeegee. So let's go here. Now I tested this seal already to see how soft it was. And as far as cutting in goes, tucking in goes, and it seems reasonable. Here is a bit more of a questionable part. So if I go to the other side and I have a look, it's not wrapped yet. We're gonna check it out. And that rubber seal kind of comes down and around, and then it turns into no rubber seal on the bottom of the window. So the rubber seal kind of comes down and around to like right here. So I can actually feel the hard edge of the plastic. We're gonna cut like right around here right now. And then just right there. And then now I'm gonna continue this across the top edge. Again, same thing as I did with the doors. That nice little space there. We don't need to tuck in a lot of vinyl, just want to tuck in some. But if you can't tuck in more, go for it. Okay, let's take that. And then let's go right around here. I'm gonna come really close, but leaving myself about 1/8 of an inch to tuck in, maybe more, 1/4 inch sometimes. Try and keep it straight. Again, it doesn't matter, no one's gonna see it. Again, you can put more masking tape down on all these areas that I put tape down on. I've only got 1 layer. Take your time removing that, cool. This should be okay to tuck in right now. Now, where I like to start sometimes is down here on the corner or up here. And this usually requires having the door open. So look what I can do now. I can lift with my thumb and we can actually tuck that in. We can start tucking it in. Doesn't always work. There's a rubber seal here. There we go. So I'm starting to get my squeegee under that rubber seal. Let's just use this one. I want to make sure there's a rubber seal that is attached to the actual trim. I'm trying to make sure that that rubber seal is lifting with the trim. Okay, that's important because I don't want to wrap on the rubber seal. I want to wrap under the rubber seal. Okay, let's keep going. Just taking your time. You see how I'm kind of prying that trim up slightly? It's not easy always, right? There's a rubber trim way in there. And again, that's what's making it more difficult. So I apply a little bit more pressure. Most of the time, you won't break this. I mean, I've never broken one. I've wrapped thousands of cars. So just keep that in mind. You shouldn't break this, but if anyone pries something hard enough, it's possible, anything's possible, you could break it. It's getting tighter as we go closer to the back. It's super common actually, but it's tucking in also really nicely. If we leave too much vinyl, it gets extremely hard to tuck in. Just another thing to keep in mind. So we don't want to leave too much vinyl because that will also make things very hard to do. We're going to start coming around the top now. It's beneficial to come in this way also. This way we can meet at the corner. So we're going to start tucking that in. And again, this top seal lifts easier. That's what I noticed when I was testing it. Don't even really need any heat because, I mean, we have stuff overlapping and it's kind of holding it down. So, I mean, we don't really need any heat. I don't really have any tension there anyways. And nor should you. You should never have tension in this area. It's really bad. But this is pretty much an area that should almost never have tension because it's just almost hard. It's almost impossible to get tension here unless you stretch like around the window or something, which, I mean, nothing's impossible. It's just shouldn't be likely to happen. I'm gonna add a bit of heat here because I need to find the seal. I'm probably gonna need to trim some vinyl away when it comes to this right here. So we're gonna get in there a bit and find where the end of that seal is. It's right here. I'm gonna reduce the amount of vinyl that I have to tuck in, especially here as it gets tighter. So now that I have found that seal, I know where I have to cut, which is anywhere on the other side of where I made that line or that mark. Right? As soon as you find it, you're good. It's just stay on the side you're supposed to stay on. Let's cut here. Cool. Again, it's going to get a little tough as we come around. So again, we have other tools. I might need to utilize them. We'll see. This one's pretty good. Let's get in there. Come in right around here, getting that seal lifted up. Now I'm going to add a bit of heat here because it's the corner. And I don't think I've heated it yet. And I do want this to sort of just stay down there really nicely. And again, taking your time. Super tight as we come around here. And almost so tight that I can't even get the vinyl in there as I get right around here. This is all about really taking your time and having good tools to do this stuff. Okay, so we don't want to make any mistakes. Let me position myself a little bit better. And let's have a look, closer look. Yeah, super tight here. See how tight that is? I can't even. Yeah, I'll get it. Come on. So I'm kind of pulling that rubber seal out as I'm tucking it in. And then down here, it's like nuts. Okay. So I'm just going to use the hockey stick shaped tool. And I should be able to get that in there. It's not. So we're going to take our wider squeegee and try to pry that a little bit more. And then try to really get under there. I'm hoping that it's going to work. Yep. Cool. So I just kind of Pac-Maned it in from that backside there, add a little bit of pressure with this squeegee. Cool, it's super clean now. Now I can finish up in here. I didn't want to do this yet because I want to tuck all that in. Anyways, it's the same thing with the door area. I wanted to make sure I had all that tucked in. Cool, so check that out. It's nice, we just get rid of that since I can show you. All right, let's do here. Piece of tape left there still. There. We don't have very far to wrap in here, like I said. Super minimal. The edge, you can see that black rubber. This is unique. I've never seen that on any car. Not in the rear door area. So all I'm doing is finding the line for that. And then, I mean, I could lift this piece up probably and tuck in. Look, it's so flimsy. I could tuck all that in. I don't want to tuck all that in. It's way too much vinyl. So we're going to cut off a bunch of this. All I wanted to do was find that edge, make sure I had it really nice before I made this cut right here. And that's the rest of this is going to get tucked in underneath that. Oops, got a little funky there. All right. That one. Now, just lift it up. You can see, let's add a little bit of heat. We can start taking our squeegee and roll that in there. You can see I can actually just pry with my fingers once I get it going, and that's easy enough. I'm sure it just pops out. Good old car manufacturers. Nothing but the highest standards here. Something here, kind of come in and around, and then we just got to get the top section over and around. A little tighter at the top. So just Pac-Man in there, and we're good. As long as it's not too cold, the vinyl won't tear or rip or anything or break. Cool. That's all good. Let's do this so I can close the door. Boom. And then let's do here. So we're going to lift this off the tape. We're going to pre-shrink it. So we're not tucking in very much. So we want to make sure we pre-shrink all of this. I am going to pre-tuck. Pre-tucking, simply this. We're going to pre-tuck the film into the recess before we cut. This squeegee might be a little bit wide. Yeah, it's not bad. Sometimes you need a finer tool. I'm going to grab the other one anyways, and lifting off of the tape and squeegeeing that in there even deeper. This is to gain maximum coverage of the color. You don't want any color shown. Now, I'm not going to go all the way up. I'm not going to start at the very top yet. I know that I probably have to cut about here first, and I'm running my knife in the gap, and as I get down here, the gap gets tighter, so I can't really run my knife anywhere but the middle, but I'm trying to stay on the bumper side, in case you're wondering about that one. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and go in the rest of the way here, because it's probably a little tricky. If we don't go in right here, we're probably going to miss it. And then that'll show white, and that would suck. There we go. Awesome. Cool. Let's heat that and squeegee it in a little bit more. Beautiful coverage. And then now we can do this bottom piece right here. I have too much vinyl here, but that's okay. You can trim some off if you want to. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm going to do a cut and fold right here. There we go. And that's going to make that a lot nicer. And it's tension free. Great. So I'm not ready to cut yet. I'm going to heat it. Make sure it's nice and solid. This is obviously an area that's going to take a beating. Rain, snow, high speeds, so on. Dirts, rocks. Yeah. Vinyl's a little bit hot. You should gotta let it cool a bit before you cut it, but it should be okay. And again, just running my knife on the inner edge of that fender. You're going to hear the carpet, most likely. There's a carpet liner inside of here, just so you know, so you're aware. Cool. I'm not going to hurt the carpet, don't worry. Stones and stuff get kicked at it, so you're not going to harm it. It's interesting that they use carpet inside here now instead of plastic. This lasts longer. That's nicer too. Okay, heat it. Good. Awesome. All right, let's go back section over here. And then all we have left is the front. Actually, let's do the front pillar. So before I go right to the back, it's right here. And show you what's going on with this. So I'm gonna leave the door open, and we're gonna start tucking down our vinyl in and behind this area as nicely as we can. Doesn't always work out the best. Sometimes you can loosen a screw, or sometimes you can just pry it a little bit like I am right now. Now, sometimes the vinyl is going to get bunched up as we're doing this, and that is why I stretched it across that area to begin with. So I've got it down in there far enough, like way farther than I need to go. Right here, let's get that one in and behind, right. Come on. I need this to go in behind. There we go. Okay, so right here we have some bunching. We're going to take care of that right now. Left myself a little bit of vinyl to hold on to. See how it's rounding off a bit? It's beautiful. And then just take it, smooth it out. Got a couple of wrinkles, I can trim those out. That's because I had to grab onto it a bit. To the top area here so I can close the door. Or just so at least when I close the door, nothing gets ruined. And I'll show you what I'm gonna do right here. I'm just gonna trim that out right now so you guys can see. I'm not sure if you can see the couple of very small wrinkles that I have. I'm just gonna trim right above them and also fall and meet the line of how the vinyl goes. Again, if you're cut very carefully with your knife, you don't have to worry about hurting the paint. There. It's beautiful. Just have the top one to do. And then it's the back, and then we're done. Quarter panels take a long time. Even easy ones like this. This is an easy quarter panel. This is not a hard quarter panel wrap. So I'm basically doing the same thing here, except on the inside, I'm going to do a cut and fold. And the trim hides it, so I'm really not concerned about the cut and folds. Also, there's nothing here to wrap. Okay, so I'm just going to trim it out. Just extra material with nothing to grab onto. I don't need a cut and fold. Just the quarter panel ends. Oops. There we go. Add some more heat to that. We can actually remove the tape while we're here. Can I grab it? Where is it? Right under here. Cool. Let's add a little bit of heat. And oh, it's so nice. Get down in there a little bit. Oh, when I'm done, you won't even be able to tell the car was white from the exterior side. Obviously, when you open the doors and the windows, yeah, you can see it, but otherwise, you can see it. Let's close this. Let's get this piece of tape off also. Now you can see I have coverage, full coverage of the white. Not worried about any of that showing, right? There's always going to be some areas that you're going to see some paint, like from here, or look across the hood, I can see some paint, on the other side. Just how things go. Let's go to the back and get you set up right here. Oops, right about there. Okay. Now, this is going to require a heat gun. Not a lot of heat. We're going to need some, though. Okay, so what I'm going to do is fold this or heat this around, and you're going to see what's going to happen. I'm just using the heat gun right now to manipulate this area. Take this, heat it, and it's actually just going to fall down and around. Like, it's really nice like that. Again, we don't have to wrap in crazy far, guys, so don't worry about that. That shrinks down right here at the corner. Now, right here is where I'm going to do a cut and fold, right where it's getting bunched up. Let's check out the bottom right here. That should all be really nice too. So I'm going to do a cut and fold on the very bottom here as well. And then the rest is solid. Okay, so let's round that off. Right here where the vinyl peaks, I'm just going to do a cut and fold. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut a straight line. So I don't have to put any knifeless tape or cutting tape or cut on the paint. Okay, and then here, we're going to go here also. And this, I'm going to fold that down and in really nicely like that. Okay. The top one, I'm going to pull tight. There's a tiny, tiny, tiny wrinkle there, guys, but that's how I do it all the time. So, okay, fold that one around. And then let's finish that cut off. And then under here, I'm going to leave myself a bit just to roll around underneath. Again, the taillight's going to cover a lot of this area, so I'm not so concerned about keeping the cut straight, but we always try. Just keep the film tight, and it'll help keep the cut straighter. Just like that. This corner, I don't need a cut and fold. I don't think I do, at least. So, then we're just going to take this, cut a straight line, and fold the rest in. If you want to wrap in more, you can. You'll just need to use a cutting tape to do that. So inside here, there's like a weld, right? And to be honest, the metal doesn't even look all that pretty anyways. So when you're doing a cut and fold inside here, it goes unseen because the metal is also messy. So don't even stress out about it. Anyways, I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. You can't make it any better because if you overlap the vinyl onto the ugly welds that the manufacturers put there, it won't matter what your cut and fold looks like, or if you just heated and stretched and did a round corner without a cut and fold, it won't matter at all. Because you can only make it as nice as the manufacturer has made the metal. Let's do the cut here. Hard spot to reach. And come down and around here. So I'm keeping the film tight. here. I don't really need a lot. There's a rubber piece there. Yeah, it's on camera. Down here, I'm going to do another cut and fold right here. Cool. This means now I can start laying this down in it. A little bit of heat's probably a better idea as opposed to forcing it cold. And then behind here, I'm just gonna pop that up. Just that easy. And heat that nicely and round all that off. And again, much of that is hidden by the plastic cover. Stick that back down. Oh, the clip came out. And now the clip's way behind there. Damn. Now my hand's gonna get dirty from touching all the dirt behind here. The clip just slid right out of the holder on this. See if I can get that back in there again. Oops. There. All right. Fits well enough. Just my hands got a little dirty and then I touched the wrap and that got dirty. Let's take this off. Let's take this tape off. Show you what the inside of the cut and folds look like on the back corner there. So you can get an idea. Oops, stuck there. So there's cut and folds right there on these corners, right? 1, 2, 3. I do cut and folds here because it gets a little bit more complicated to wrap. And then there's also like, there's no ending of the metal, right? So the metal just keeps going and going and going. While like on a fender, even under here, it keeps going, right? It keeps going all the way underneath. So like on a fender or front fender, for example, the metal ends, like it goes around, but you have a really solid edge. While on this type of fender, you don't have a nice solid edge. Get this camera back into position. And that would be the car coming together right there. I'm gonna slap the mirror back on, get a handle wrapped, move on to the bumpers. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's very long, but thorough, details, hopefully helpful in showing you how to install this satin metallic burnt maroon. Beautiful color, my favorite so far. Anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Take care.